When I'm struggling while trying to climb a mountain, I like to blame the weather, the terrain, my backpack, or the other people on the route. Anything to avoid taking that deep breath and discovering what's really bothering me. It's the same with photography. We blame our gear, our subjects, and the social media algorithms, but those aren't the real problems. I'm Brenda Bergering, and in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 photography mistakes that are holding you back and how to fix them. Mistake number 1 is chasing gear instead of practice. We think if we just have the f1.8 instead of the 2.8, our portraits will suddenly shine. The truth, skill matters more than gear. If you find yourself researching cameras again, call yourself out on it. Are you just procrastinating from what you should be doing? Practicing, shooting, getting in the rep? It's like trail running. Blaming your shoes instead of your training. You know that new shoes won't replace getting miles in on the trail. If you remember when I talked about the science of deliberate practice in my last creativity video, it's about consistent small reps. It's better to meditate for 5 minutes a day rather than a 1-hour practice once in a while, because that's how you rewire your brain. Focused effort matters far more than the tools themselves. A musician can have the most expensive violin, but if they never practice, they won't play better than someone with a $100 instrument that practices daily. Photography works the same way. So what's the fix? Take out your camera and get to work. In fact, take out an old camera, one that forces you to slow down and problem solve. Some of our favorite photos were made on older models before they had today's fast autofocus and endless megapixels. The limitations force us to work harder, see differently, and not rely on technology to make up for our lack of experience. And the truth is, even the masters worked within limits. Ansel Adams made his iconic landscapes with huge slow view cameras. Galen Rowell ran into the Himalaya with a lightweight Nikon film body. Their vision and practice created those timeless images, not their gear. If they could do it with film, we can certainly practice with whatever we've got in our hands. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling for lenses, stop scrolling and start shooting. Mistake number 2 is not understanding light. Sure, we can blame light for making our job harder or for not meeting our expectations, but we can't rely on the luck of a stunning sunset to make our photos better. We have to learn how to see light and, more importantly, how to use it. In fact, I'd argue those epic moments aren't luck at all. They're about showing up, putting in the reps, and learning to read light. For every epic sunset I've shot, I've been outside and ready for countless more. For example, once we were at this remote Grand Canyon spot completely alone until this other photographer arrived out of breath from hiking in because his car couldn't handle the road. He was hoping for the perfect sunset and had a very clear idea of what that meant. I rolled my eyes a little at his intensity, but I also respected his dedication. That shot didn't happen by chance. It happened because he had done it before, and he knew how to chase the light. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that one of my favorite ways to see and understand light is using the acronym CHIA to indicate color, hardness, angle, and intensity. Is the color warm like a sunset or cool like the shade? Is it hard midday sun or the soft, flattering light of open shade? Where is it coming from? Do you have a front light, side light, or maybe a backlit silhouette? And how strong is the light? Spend some time watching light. Watch it move through your house throughout the day, or try capturing a subject from all angles. Notice lighting on a daily basis and you'll learn how to use it in your photography. It's one of the reasons I love backpacking. We find ourselves in an epic location and we watch that place change throughout the day. The sunrise paints everything golden. In the middle of the day, the light glitters off the lake. And as sunset approaches, things change drastically. Slowly, but then it's over in an instant until the stars join the show. We're always talking about chasing light, but we'll be a lot better if we seek to understand it first. Then we know where it's likely to go and how it's likely to behave. We learn how light moves, we show up ready, we stay present, and the perfect light comes right into our trap. The chase is over for now. Mistake number 3 is fear of moving or compositional laziness. I'm not saying it's an official diagnosable fear, but sometimes as photographers, we feel like our feet are rooted in the dirt. We just stand there, feet planted, panicking about why we can't take a better picture. Guess what? The better picture is 2 steps and a lunge away. I have a lot of videos on this channel about how to shoot with different lenses. Our how to shoot playlist is some of our most popular content, and for good reason. Learning how to shoot with different focal lengths will empower your photography, but changing your lens is just part of the story. You need to change your viewpoint, your perspective, your position. Lie down, climb up, move back, get closer. When I catch myself standing around, waiting for inspiration instead of going on a compositional hunt, I remember that light isn't the only thing we chase in photography. Here's the key. Movement equals options, and every step you take changes your story. The relationship between your subject and the background, the way the light hits the scene. Sometimes the perfect angle is only visible if you squat, kneel down, or even lie down. Other times, it's waiting on a nearby rock or a hilltop. Think of composition like climbing a mountain. The obvious trail is safe, but boring. The creative, slightly risky steps open new lines of sight and tell a story you can't get from the bottom. Just because everyone goes one way doesn't mean you can't find a different way that works better for you. Looking at trip reports and route descriptions is great, but reading the terrain is better. Trust me, we learned this lesson again on our latest endeavor. Similarly, looking at other photographers' work is great inspiration, but finding your own story to tell is more fun. Composition is what tells the story. It's what elevates an image from snapshot to art. Even if moving puts me in a worse spot, I learned something. Then I can adjust, go back, and frame it until it says what I want. Back in the day, we would scout wedding locations that we were going to shoot. We'd find what we thought were the best photos of the venue, and then we'd try to come up with different angles or perspectives to shoot it from to make a better image. We climbed a lot of trees, walls, and hillsides hunting for more interesting compositions. The good news is that if you practice looking for interesting compositions, you'll move more quickly and naturally. You'll develop the habit of moving your feet. Resistance loses the battle, and creativity wins. So instead of chasing gear, we're going to practice our photography. Find yourself scrolling B&H, get it outside and scroll your exposure dials instead. Instead of crossing our fingers for lucky light and covering up bad light with presets, we're going to learn and understand light so that we can create great images regardless of the color, hardness, angle, or intensity. And when we notice that fear of moving cropping up, we're going to call it what it is. Compositional laziness. Stretch out, warm up, and move. Research on deliberate practice shows that experts don't just put in hours, they focus on small, repeatable, high-quality reps that target weak spots. Every time you practice exposure settings, light reading, or composition intentionally, your brain is rewiring itself for better photography. Make sure you get our travel photography guide from the shop and get out there and practice. Before you even leave this video, grab your camera. Pick one object in your room or outside and take 3 shots from 3 different heights or angles. Notice how each change affects the story of the image, the light, the composition. That's moving, that's seeing light, that's practicing. Every frame is a chance to grow. Think of photography as an epic game of capture the flag. We could spend all our time buying new shoes, updating camera lenses or gadgets, but that won't help us win. The real victory comes from training, practicing, and building skills that let us move confidently. We could also spend hours chasing the perfect light, but the smart player studies the field. We learn how light moves, we know where it's likely to appear, and then we show up ready. So when that perfect light comes, it's almost like it's running straight into our trap. And finally, winning isn't about standing in one spot and hoping for the best. The best players stay nimble. We change our positions, perspectives, and angles. We climb, squat, or stretch to find the composition that tells the story best. Every move gives us options, and options are how we stay ahead in this game. So instead of blaming gear, luck, or fear of moving, we train, anticipate, and act creatively. Create not for attention, but for connection. Practice, explore, and tell your story. Tell me, which mistake do you struggle with the most, and how are you going to fix it? Comment below and we can troubleshoot or hold each other accountable. Be sure to check out more from our Creative Frame of Mind playlist to build habits that help support your goals. Keep shooting with heart, and I'll see you in the next one.